Singer and former teen icon Tiffany hosted an event at Hamburger Mary's this evening.
After achieving fame and wealth, some celebs depart from the spotlight to chase other goals in life.
Son, it was beautiful. Come on, admit it.
Whether they take a short break or a permanent one, these stars are now doing regular day jobs much like us. Number 10. Estrada. Estrada is well remembered by most Generation X members for his portrayal of Officer Frank Poncherello on the popular 70s TV show Chips. He was a familiar face in many households. Each week, Ponch and his partner John, played by actor Larry Wilcox, would appear in our living rooms as California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers.
Give me a 28, 29 on a 10608 Lincoln.
And would solve complex crimes within an hour. Ponch and John, both attractive in their own ways, became television heartthrobs.
Son, it was beautiful. Come on, admit it.
With John as the muscular blonde and Ponch as the charismatic Latin character. Airing for 6 seasons from 1977 to 1983, Chips left a lasting impression on its audience. A reunion TV movie in the late 1990s offered a glimpse of the characters once more. This was one of the last times many viewers saw these actors. Following the conclusion of Chips, Estrada ventured into many 80s and 90s era TV classics, including Hunter, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Nanny, Sybil, Baywatch, The Wayans Brothers, and Martin, among others. He also took on roles in TV movies like Caged Fury, Loaded Weapon 1, and The Modern Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Beyond live-action roles, he lent his voice to animated series such as Family Guy, King of the Hill, and C-Lab 2021. In 2001, he had a multi-episode arc on the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. Estrada dabbled in popular telenovelas for a period, and more recently he appeared in TV shows like Liv and Maddie and Malibu Dan, the Family Man. Although this may sound like a lot, acting really did take a back seat in Estrada's life, but he did make an uncredited appearance as a paramedic in the 27 reboot of Chips. Although Michael Pena and Dax Shepard took on the lead roles, portraying Ponch and John respectively, the movie faced challenges, and Estrada openly expressed his disapproval of the project. So what did Estrada do after being done with Chips? Much to everyone's surprise, Estrada took on the role of a reserve police officer for the Muncie Police Department in Indiana. Presently, he continues his service as a reserve officer in St. Anthony, Idaho. As a member of the Blue Knights Motorcycle Club, he can often be seen riding around town on his bike in his capacity as a reserve officer. It was revealed that Estrada had once been romantically involved with the superstar Marie Osmond. However, at present, he is happily married to his second wife, Janette Mccartie, a film sound technician. The couple shares a daughter named Francesca Natalia, who aspires to be an actress. Estrada also has 2 sons from a previous marriage, with one of them being Brandon Michael Paul Estrada, a pole vaulter. Eric and Nanette reside in Hollywood Hills. Estrada still dabbles in acting every now and then. He made an appearance in a TV movie titled Spring Break 83 in 2020. We might see more of him, or maybe this was just a one-time thing. We'll know in the future. Number 9. Tiffany Darwish. Moving on to Tiffany Renee Darwish, an American singer, songwriter, actress, and former teen icon. She gained popularity with her 1987 cover of the Tommy James and the Shondells song, I Think We're Alone Now. The single spent 2 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and was released as the second single from her debut studio album, Tiffany. Teen pop stars often have a complex relationship with their early fame. Some attempt to distance themselves, while others may refuse to acknowledge their teen hits. Some may even react negatively when questioned about their teenage stardom. However, Tiffany has a different approach. Now, at 52, the singer and songwriter is content. She owns a trendy, funky boutique in Nashville. Her son Elijah has grown up. She actively contributes to charitable causes. Furthermore, Tiffany is still working on a bit of new music every now and then, although not as frequently in the past. In 2011, Tiffany made a decision to diversify her ventures. She initiated the establishment of Tiffany's Boutique in Nashville, which has a wide-ranging collection of fashion, ranging from vintage to contemporary styles. So, how do you go from singing to running a boutique? What made her do it? In an interview, she says that she thought it would be cool to open up a boutique that is a little bit of glamour and a little bit different. She collaborates with local designers in Nashville and sources diverse items globally, offering customizable options. She says that she's a real girl. She gains and loses weight just like any other person would. and her styles change because of this. Her goal is to provide fashion for real women. This means women of any size and age. She also is very budget conscious, so she's made sure her clothes don't cost that much. Her goal is to make people feel good about themselves based on how they dress. Although she's worn a lot of interesting outfits during her time at the stage, she acknowledges that that's just how the business is. And because of her experience wearing those outfits, she prefers things that are stripped down and comfortable. This simplicity also applies to Tiffany's music. She continues to write songs and release albums, albeit on a smaller scale compared to her peak in the late 80s. This is a big difference from the manufactured pop princess who entertained large crowds during her Tiffany Shopping Mall Tour 1987 and sold 4 million copies of her self-titled debut album. In the present, her objective is to keep on writing songs for herself and others, making her a hitmaker and sought-after songwriter. She also aims to expand her entrepreneurial endeavors. In 2023, Tiffany went on a new venture. This was a live, interactive pop and rock musical experience titled Shadows UV Pop Art Show. This show featured songs from her latest album, along with some of her greatest hits, complemented by pop art displays. Collaborating with guitar foodie Tom Vrem, she published Breakfast with Tiffany, a collection of breakfast and brunch recipes inspired by her travels and Tom's culinary explorations. Recently, her company Rocktail with Tiffany joined forces with Rob Floyd Entertainment to introduce an exclusive cocktail line of Rocktail boxes. Music and business remain at the core of Tiffany's world. Number 8. Freddy Prince Jr. In the 90s and early 2000s, Freddy was a big deal in movies like She's All That and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, not everyone might know him, but what's he been doing since he stepped back from Hollywood? Even if Freddy isn't in the Hollywood spotlight as much, he's been keeping busy. He teamed up with Rachel Wharton to write a cookbook called Back to the Kitchen. It has 75 tasty recipes and real stories from a food-loving actor. This cookbook hit shelves in 2016. Freddy didn't just disappear from the scene. He also worked in the gaming world. You can hear him in Mass Effect and Dragon Age Inquisition, lending his voice to characters. And don't forget Star Wars. He voiced Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars Rebels and Co. of Skywalker. Outside of showbiz, Freddy even dipped his toes into World Wrestling Entertainment from 2008 to 2012. But why did he take a break from the spotlight? Well, it goes back to his time on the TV show 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. In an interview with ABC News, Freddy said that he did the show and it was terrible. He hated every moment of it, and it was because to him, Kiefer was the most unprofessional person he'd ever met, to the point where he would say it to Kiefer's face. He guesses that everyone else on the set thought the same way. His experience with Kiefer was so bad that he wanted to quit the business afterward. So, he did. He stopped acting altogether. Freddy had a brief return to the spotlight by starring alongside his wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar, in the successful films Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. These hits made their impact in the film industry. However, Freddy shifted his focus from movies to family life, with Gellar giving birth to their daughter in 2009 and son in 2012. Since 2008, he hasn't shown up on the big screen, and in 2018, he expressed his love for being a full-time father, saying that removing himself from that role wouldn't be a good move, essentially considering himself retired. Freddy engaged with World Wrestling Entertainment in various capacities. Initially part of the creative team, he wrote promos and served as an acting coach. By 2010, he became a producer and director, making appearances on Raw and Monday Night Raw. Despite being on the verge of becoming the head writer, Freddy decided against it after realizing the significant time it would take away from his family. Wrestling remained a passion, leading him to start the podcast Wrestling with Freddy in 2021. With comedian Jeff Dye, he aims to unveil the world of pro wrestling. Creating content for podcasts and YouTube allows him to express his passions while prioritizing his family over an active role in show business. Number 7. Charlie Korsmo. Charlie Korsmo, a popular child actor in the 90s, starred in hit movies like Dick Tracy, What About Bob, and Hook. But then, he suddenly disappeared from Hollywood. Instead of continuing in the spotlight, Korsmo chose a different path. His decision to leave acting behind came down to a simple desire: buying a Nintendo. In post-career interviews, Korsmo revealed that he entered the acting world to earn money for the gaming console. During a family trip to Los Angeles, he witnessed the filming of Punky Brewster and thought that acting looks like something anyone can do. It became a reason to skip school as well. Back in Minnesota, Korsmo's family helped him find an agent by looking through the yellow pages for talent agencies. Soon, he was doing commercials, facing numerous auditions. He credits his mother for supporting him because she was the one who drove him to all these auditions. Despite initial rejections in about 20 to 25 auditions, Korsmo landed his first commercial, a 3-second spot of him folding a flag. He gained attention in movies like Men Don't Leave and Dick Tracy. Despite the limited success of the latter, it opened doors for further opportunities. Korsmo said in an interview that his initial motivation for acting was to escape school and earn money for a Nintendo. Acting wasn't a lifelong goal for him. However, with high school approaching, Korsmo felt the strain of being away from family and friends. After Hook, his last movie as a kid, he realized he missed the normal teenage experience. He said that he hadn't been in school for a few years, and he suddenly found out that he didn't have any friends his own age. Choosing education over acting, Korsmo used his earnings from Hook and Dick Tracy to fund his college dreams. In an interview, he said that the money from movies made it possible for him to attend college. Without it, he might have relied on a football scholarship. His academic journey took him to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he earned a physics degree, and Yale, where he obtained a law degree. Despite a brief return to acting in the cult classic Can't Hardly Wait, Korsmo found more joy in making movies at 19 than at 10. Korsmo has shifted his main role to that of a father and husband. Korsmo shared his experiences in a 2021 interview with YouTuber Sienna Boccio. He discussed attending law school, meeting his wife, and practicing law in New York for a few years. However, the demanding life of a corporate lawyer, as depicted in the movie Hook, made him rethink his priorities. Korsmo really didn't want to choose his hectic career over his family. He's very happy with his family. Having a beautiful wife and kids makes it hard for him to take other achievements seriously, because in his eyes, he's already gotten the best thing you can get from life. Korsmo found a balance by turning to academia, though, where he could have more control over his schedule. He emphasized the joy of being present for his family, saying that his kids actually know who he is. In his current role as a husband to Adrienne and a father to Lila and William, Korsmo's family mostly remains out of the spotlight. Despite occasional interviews, he takes pride in his family life. Number 6. Frankie Muniz. Next up, we have Frankie Muniz, a prominent child and teen actor in the 2000s who experienced a successful run in TV and film. Muniz's acting career began in the 90s with commercials and his film debut in the TV movie To Dance with Olivia. Following appearances in What the Deaf Man Heard and the rom-com Lost and Found, Muniz landed his breakthrough role as the lead in the sitcom Malcolm in the Middle. Muniz portrayed the title character in Malcolm in the Middle, a child prodigy navigating life in a dysfunctional yet entertaining family of 4 boys. His comedic roles in films like Big Fat Liar, Agent Cody Bank, and voicing the main character in Racing Stripes followed. However, Muniz transitioned to diverse genres, including horror with Stay Alive. Over time, his popularity in leading roles waned as he diversified into various projects. Since the 2010s, Muniz has remained active in acting but hasn't engaged in large-scale projects as he did in the 2000s. His ventures include the animated movie The Legend of Secret Pass, superhero film Pizza Man, short film Grapevine Valentine, and family movie Another Day in Paradise. His most recent film appearance was as Jonathan in the 2018 psychological thriller The Black String. On the television front, Muniz made several appearances as himself and had brief roles in different projects. Recent TV appearances include the medical drama New Amsterdam and the sitcom Aquafina is Nora from Queens, where he portrayed Jace and Sean respectively. After the conclusion of Malcolm in the Middle, the actor opted for a career shift, venturing into the Atlantic Championship Formula race circuit. Muniz's desires led him away from Hollywood. He instead embraced diverse interests. From 2012, he spent several years drumming in a touring band, ventured into the olive oil business in 2019, and notably pursued a career as a professional race car driver. His varied pursuits come from a desire to live a fulfilling life. Muniz expresses a constant sense of urgency, saying that he's always felt like he was running out of time. Even when he was a kid, he felt like he needed to take advantage of having the opportunity to do things. Despite a 13-year hiatus following a serious crash that resulted in a broken back, injured hands, and ribs, Muniz announced in early 2023 his decision to compete full-time in the NASCAR-owned ARCA series. He clarifies that his return to racing isn't merely for enjoyment. He aims to compete and ideally win. He's not doing this as a hobby. If he wanted to race cars, he could do it at a much lower level and have the same enjoyment. He wants to make it to the top. As a lifelong racing enthusiast, Muniz dedicates over 2 hours daily to gym training, preparing his body for the physical demands of driving a race car. Additionally, he spends several hours each day studying film. He's training as much as he can because of the harsh competition. For his competitors, it's what they do for a living. So Muniz has to take it very seriously.
I felt pretty good with that run. We practiced it a lot, and there was some things I was a little scared about, but I hit them.
Before we move on, it's time for today's subscriber pick. It's no secret why we don't see this actress anymore. Linda Hunt was famous for her role on NCIS Los Angeles. She even won an Oscar for her incredible acting. But suddenly one day, she straight up quit. She vanished from showbiz and was never heard from again. But it was because of a serious car accident that left her injured. She wanted to recover and return to the show, but never did, and nobody knows why. So we don't know what she's doing now, and her net worth is private. That's where you, the viewer, come in. Comment down below if you know anything about Linda Hunt's mysterious disappearance from her acting career. Why didn't she come back? And is she okay? Remember to use the hashtag #subscriberpick to let us know your answers. Now, let's move on to our next entry. Number 5. Macaulay Culkin. In the early 90s, Macaulay Culkin emerged as one of the planet's most prominent celebrities, achieving A-list status at the age of 10 through blockbuster films. However, as he transitioned into adulthood, the New York native opted for a departure from the limelight, seeking a relatively normal life. Following his Home Alone success, Culkin starred in various early 90s films, such as My Girl and The Nutcracker. However, by the age of 14, the child actor grew weary of the movie industry. He said that when he was put in a position to take control of his own life, he jumped at the opportunity to do so, and immediately said that he was retired. Fortunately, Culkin's success allowed him to step away from Hollywood while still young. In an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, he revealed gaining control of his finances at 18. It was a lot of money, so it allowed him to treat everything as a hobby. In 2017, Culkin began dating actress Brenda Song, eventually welcoming their son Dakota in 2021. The couple announced their engagement in January of 2022, maintaining a relatively low profile. Despite his initial desire to leave acting at 14, Culkin has remained active professionally. Since the early 2000s, he has made appearances in TV shows and movies like Will and Grace and The Park. He joined the cast of American Horror Story Double Feature in 2021 and received praise for his performance. He then appeared in The Righteous Gemstones in 2022. Beyond acting, Culkin has explored diverse projects and hobbies. In 2013, he formed the comedy rock band The Pizza Underground and founded the satirical website Bunny Ears, serving as its CEO. He even made a runway appearance for Gucci in 2021. While he may not be headlining major blockbusters today, Macaulay Culkin seems to have found fulfillment and is enjoying life on his own terms. Number 4. Janette Mccartie. For number 4, it's no secret why we don't see this actress anymore. Janette Mccartie is the former Nickelodeon star of iCarly who played the beloved Sam Puckett. She chose to step away from acting due to profound dissatisfaction with her past roles. She's made it very clear why she made this decision. In March 2021, she explained her thought process on an episode of her podcast known as Empty Inside. McCartie revealed that despite being a famous 19-year-old with financial success, she felt deeply unhappy and resented her life because of her involvement in projects she didn't appreciate. McCartie acknowledged the popularity of the shows she was part of.
She's kind of a tomboy, right?
Yeah, definitely. She sounds like really edgy and wacky and zany.
Beloved by many, especially children. But as much as people enjoyed her acting, she didn't like any part of it. She didn't enjoy walking onto brightly lit, cheesy sets and delivering lines that seemed pointless. For her, she was ashamed. In her podcast, McCartie disclosed that she quit because she didn't want to do it from the start. She was introduced to acting at the young age of 6 by her mother, and by the age of 10 or 11, she was the breadwinner of her family. She also denied to reappear on the iCarly reboot, even when personally asked by iCarly star Miranda Cosgrove. However, the two are on good terms to this day. Currently, she is channeling her energy into different creative pursuits, such as her podcast, short films, and a live comedy show. Number 3. Jack Gleeson. In a similar vein, Irish actor Jack Gleeson, renowned for portraying the villainous King Joffrey Baratheon in Game of Thrones, stepped back from acting after his impactful run on the show began in 2011. Despite his role in one of the world's biggest TV shows, Jack Gleeson found that the experience of being in Game of Thrones made him less passionate about acting as a full-time career. In a talk at University College Dublin after completing filming on the HBO fantasy epic, he shared that the decision to leave acting was rooted in the diminishing enjoyment he derived from it, which was different from the fun he had as a child actor. Gleeson began his acting journey at the age of 8 and initially loved it, aspiring to be an actor when he grew up. His earlier roles in Batman Begins with Christian Bale and Reign of Fire alongside Gerard Butler fueled his enthusiasm. However, his experience on Game of Thrones, which he started at 19, became somewhat mechanical and less passionate as he grew older. He emphasized that it had nothing to do with how Game of Thrones was filmed. Gleeson explained that the transition from a recreational activity to a profession added pressure and made acting a bit less enjoyable. After his character's dramatic death during his on-screen wedding, Gleeson took a hiatus from acting and pursued an academic career. Between 2010 and 2015, Gleeson attended Trinity College Dublin, studying philosophy and theology. During his time, he became a scholar at the university in 2012 and engaged in the drama society of the college, where he met his future collaborators for the Collapsing Horse Theatre Company. Number 2. Peter Ostrom. Next up at number 2, we have Peter Ostrom. After portraying Charlie and Willy Wonka in The Chocolate Factory, Peter Ostrom took a different path, steering away from the limelight. He made his acting debut at the age of 12 in the film adaptation of Roald Dahl's novel. Ostrom played the hopeful Charlie Bucket. Scouted by agents while performing in the Cleveland Playhouse Children's Theater, Ostrom was taken under the wing of Gene Wilder, who played Willy Wonka. When Wilder passed away in 2012, Ostrom expressed the heartfelt impact, saying that it was like losing a parent. Despite his success in Willy Wonka, Ostrom decided not to pursue acting further. Producer David L. Wolper offered him a 3-film contract, but Ostrom declined, valuing the freedom to choose his future projects. Rather than pursuing acting, Ostrom chose a different career path, becoming a veterinarian. He had an interest in his family's horse, so he earned a doctorate of veterinary medicine from Cornell University College in 1984. Ostrom started his veterinary practice in Lowville, New York, at Countryside Veterinary Clinic. He later retired in September of 2023. Today, he resides in New York with his wife, Loretta, and has 2 adult children, Helenka and Leif Ostrom. Initially, he didn't like talking about his role as Charlie Bucket in the original movie. He wanted people to judge him for who he was and not for what he had done, so he kept his role a secret. But he later opened up about Willy Wonka in interviews by the 90s. In 2021, he, along with some original cast members, shared their thoughts on Timothée Chalamet playing Willy Wonka in the 2023 prequel, Wonka. Number 1. MC Hammer. For our final entry at number 1, we have MC Hammer. MC Hammer reached the pinnacle of his career in the late 80s and early 90s. He experienced immense success with his breakthrough album, Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, amassing an annual income of around $30 million and an estimated fortune of $70 million. However, because of his newfound success, Hammer indulged in extravagant spending. He acquired nearly 20 luxury cars, 21 racehorses, a private jet, and a helicopter. Renovating his California mansion cost him over $30 million, featuring fancy additions like gold toilets and front gates plated in gold with the inscription, Hammer Time. The mansion was huge. It was 40,000 square feet, and it had amenities such as a bowling alley, a 17-car garage, tennis courts, 2 swimming pools, and a recording studio. Employing a staff of 200 people incurred a monthly cost between $500,000 and $1 million. Predictably, such lavish spending led to financial repercussions, resulting in his bankruptcy filing within 5 years. In 1996, MC Hammer, along with his wife Stephanie Burrell, sought Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The filing included over 200 creditors and debts exceeding $10 million, with assets totaling only $1 million. Chapter 11. Bankruptcy is different from personal filing like Chapter 7 or 13. It doesn't mean you sell off everything at once and go broke. Instead, it's more about restructuring and settling debts over time. Chapter 11 is for corporations and partnerships. Chapter 11 even allows MC Hammer to keep control of his assets by following an approved reorganization plan voted on by creditors. MC Hammer faced additional challenges, including substantial tax debts, nearly $800,000 to the IRS, over $500,000 in California state taxes, and more than $200,000 in property taxes. The home was eventually sold, but this made MC Hammer view the bankruptcy filing as a blessing in disguise. After this journey, he said that he was actually content with what happened and wouldn't go back into the past to change anything. That's because he strongly believes in the butterfly effect. If he changed anything in the past, it would jeopardize his present happiness, relationships, and peace. Currently, MC Hammer engages in diverse investments. He owns a share of Twitter. In 2011, he successfully rebranded himself as a respected entrepreneur and advisor in Silicon Valley, earning a net worth of $2 million. His reputation as a tech-savvy early adopter, investing in and advising numerous companies, contributed to his remarkable recovery from past setbacks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.